Hey now.
GMGM. What's going on?
Chilling like a villain.
Like a villain.
Like a villain.
The NFT villain.
That would be Beanie Maxi. Beanie Maxi is the NFT villain.
You are really quiet right now.
Is this better?
A little bit. I think I could turn you up a little bit too. Let's go here. Let's see what happens. Give us a little tester.
Breaker 19 copy.
Can you guys in the chat hear Free Market all right? I can hear you. I can hear you. It's just you're not as loud as you normally are. All good. All good. Whew. How's everyone doing this morning? Off to a good start to the week. How was your day yesterday? What was happening?
I'm just watching my APR on LooksRare drop to a paltry 718%. I'm considering putting it in a savings account at this point. 718%? What is this fucking scam?
Ugh, God.
I guess that means other people are staking too, which should be bullish.
You're still staking yours? You're still holding everything?
I am staking. Yes, I'm 100% staked right now.
Yeah, I'm not interested in trading this for the time being. Let's see what happens.
I mean, it's a very easy unstaking process, and it is automatic compounding, which is very nice.
Yeah, that caught me off guard because I was like, I was trying to figure out when I first did it, like, at what point do I?
Because with Ohm, you have to rebase, right? You have to constantly add things in. I actually think it could be your internet today, which is why I sounded low, because you're frozen right now. I don't even know if you could hear me. I wonder if the frozen Canadian tundra is getting the best of your internet. What up, hologram? Can you hear me? Is it only him that's frozen, or am I? There you are.
Internet, I think, just dropped. Like, everything just seems to fucking die on me.
Yeah.
Okay. All good.
Yeah, you're good now. It wasn't me though. I think it was.
Yeah, no, I like. So now that school is from home now. I've got my son doing like live school classes. My wife's a teacher, so she's in there in the other room doing all that stuff too. So definitely putting a stress test on our internet, I guess. So fun times. All right, do you want to just let's just fire it up and do the thing?
Oh, the APR just went up. Does that mean somebody unstaked and sold? Yes.
FMC, that is exactly right. But like, so more being staked means your APR is going down, but it should be more bullish because the supply is getting less, right?
Correct. You're correct. You get a smaller percentage of the pool that's there reserved for you, but
gotcha.
There are less tokens available.
All right, cool. Well, I think that I'll have to settle for the 700% yearly return right now. So sucks to suck, I guess. All right, GM everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday, January 11th edition of the AM show, hosted live on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you everybody for tuning in this morning. We have a great show for you as always. I am R2 Degen, and joined with me by Free Market Capitalist.
Hey now.
Free Market, how was your Monday?
It was very good. Relatively quiet for me on the Degen front. I feel like Mint slowed down a little bit. We were very busy. Back-to-back meetings, one after the other. So behind the, you know what they say, builders are always building, right? So there's builders building, but it felt a little quiet given the crazy weekend we just had. I think there was a bit of mint fatigue. It seemed to be first there was a blow off top in all the good projects on Saturday. We saw it. We kind of called it was blow offy. It felt very frothy. The great news is most things are consolidating pretty much close to the highs. You know, Alien Friends sitting at 3, Little Lemon Friends at 0.65, Coolmans sitting at 1.4. So there hasn't been some giant give back. It did feel a little quiet. And now this morning, maybe we're entering a new phase of interest for people.
Yeah, sorry about that. Again, I hope that this doesn't persist, because if I have to reset my router, it's going to take like at least 5 minutes, unfortunately. But let's just keep it going. And I didn't quite hear what you said, but yeah, we were busy with lots of meetings yesterday, which was good. Everything was very exciting on our end, and especially with the stuff that pertains to a certain project that people seem pretty hyped up about. Can't imagine what that is. There it is.
What?
No, hey, we are well on our way. Congrats to everybody that's been in the Discord so far. Lots of exciting stuff happened. If you haven't been in there yet, like don't panic too much. There's nothing sinister. You haven't been left out. You know, we're trying to do things properly, and stress test things, make sure that we're handling the load on everything before the floodgates open. So do not panic, but it's been a pretty good time in there. The vibe's been pretty dope.
Yes, sir.
Have you been doing lots of questing?
I've been doing lots of questing, getting my XP up, battling those bosses. That's my favorite part. There's a community aspect and feel to battling bosses, and when we lose, we put our arms around each other's shoulders and say we'll get them next time. But when we win, there is a GIF train of celebration and victory, and it feels good. So.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, big shout out to everyone that worked on that and built that from the ground up, and obviously Charlie for his vision. Just as a quick side note, whenever you're participating in this stuff, or even just trying to get into Discords, don't spam the emojis or the reactions too hard. I got temporarily banned from Discord for like an hour and a half. I think you did too. And there was that like split moment, especially with all of the Discord hacks that have been going around, where I was just like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Yeah, I had some glitching because of the fast emoji clicking as well. Just needed a hard reset there, and everything worked out well. But yeah. Get Discord. That's why we are stress testing these bots right now.
Exactly.
We know that Discord can be, sticky. There's a bit of a learning curve, and we all have been in Discords where like the bot stopped working, and it's frustrating. It could be scary. You're like, oh no, am I going to miss whitelist spot because this bot is not like registering? I was number 716. We want to just, make sure all that good stuff is shored up for you fun people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, we didn't even mention this. The Starcatchers Discord. You were there right when it opened too, right?
Right.
And everyone was like, "Oh, you just got to double click the emoji." Well, now you're putting double the load on the bot instead of the same. It was like an absolute shit show, and there was just like 40,000 people slamming the reaction. Everything got locked down. Then they had to switch the verification methods, and that in itself kind of feels sketchy, right? And I like,
yeah,
I just always have that in the back of my mind now when something's like a switch up on Discord. You're like, this doesn't feel good. I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah. Yesterday seemed a little bit on the quiet side. Gas was very, very high all day. I don't know. I would assume that that's partly the result of the LooksRare token drop. Lots of people claiming that, and lots of volume being traded on that. So I think that that was kind of part of what was going on, but I guess maybe Opensea had a moment to recuperate, and hopefully they got their shit together. I also noticed when I was using Opensea for like the past 48 hours, they have that banner on the top that's like, site is currently under maintenance. You might experience some delays. Like, honest to God, Opensea, just leave that up, because like, this has been your platform for 4 months.
Applicable. Yep. Always applicable.
Right. So yeah, anyways, that was it was fun. Let's jump into the news. We'll talk about LooksRare in a little bit, but we got some other stuff to cover first. Bitcoin, Ethereum kind of rallying back below, above those kind of scary thresholds. Bitcoin kind of hit 42,000 before chilling out a little bit. Ethereum hit 3,200 before chilling out a bit. Great to see them cross that threshold, but at the same time, NFTs have been doing so well, and historically, Ethereum going on a bit of a run kind of cools that down. So I'm all for the slow and steady approach for Ethereum right now. How about you?
I'd be very happy to just see it consolidate between 3,000 and 3,200 for the rest of the year. I don't think that's going to happen. It felt like we bottomed over the weekend, and maybe there was one last scare yesterday trying to trick people, but it does not. It does feel much closer to a bottom than a top. I've told you that I believe we're going to be range bound all year between 3,000 and 5,000 with slight pokes below and above each to make each side think they are right. I think we just did that for the Bears. And hopefully it doesn't happen too quick, but I would expect into April, we're going to do that for the Bulls as well. I think Ethereum's going to rally up to $5,000 into April, and then it's going to fall all the way back to $3,000 over the summer. And it's going to be if you're watching spot or if you're a coin person, it's going to be a very frustrating year if you were expecting new all-time highs and elevation out of the range. If you are in NFTs, I think it's going to be a Goldilocks environment of masses coming in and Ethereum staying within range. So,
yeah, it's hilarious because before NFTs, all you wanted, or all I wanted at least, was crypto to just go up, 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 up. And now that I'm an NFT, I'm like, yeah, go up, but like don't go up, like just kind of just go in that direction slowly instead of.
Well, we've heard for years like what legitimizes Bitcoin, right? And the US dollar, were it to go up or down 200% in a year, society would be over. Something will have happened that there would be no more society as you know it, right? A currency cannot be this volatile. So until Ethereum and Bitcoin are stable to an extent, they're not currencies, they're speculative assets. So the people who want these to be like global reserve currencies and things like that, we're eventually going to need some sort of stabilization to an extent. So it's one of those things. I don't think crypto is anywhere near that point of stabilization. So
yeah, no, it's you can't have your cake and eat it too. In that sense, you either want it to go up very quickly or you want it to be stable. And whatever goal you're kind of working within, you like I said, you can't have both. But I'm in agreement. Like we're very, very far away from that happening. You slowly start to see some of the smaller countries inch their way into that territory. But for someone like the US or Britain or Canada to kind of jump aboard with that is not going to happen anytime soon. They might start being a little bit more favorable towards it, but it's definitely not going to be a currency in their eyes. I guess kind of in line with what we're talking about, Bitcoin correlation with S&P 500, Nasdaq hits highest level since July 2020. It's an 18-month high in terms of correlation between cryptocurrencies. Or I guess specifically Bitcoin and the traditional finance markets. I think they've reached the dollar value in terms of market cap and the size and scope of their economy that, you're going to start to see them move in that direction in being risk on, risk off environments.
And there's pretty much three phases a market can be in. There's risk on, there's risk off, and then there's consolidation. There's consolidation, right? So while we're in these risk off periods, all speculative assets get hit. And it's just another, point to those people that say that like crypto is different. Crypto is a speculative asset until it is not. And when larger markets go risk off, you can expect crypto to go risk off as well.
Yeah, definitely. And on the announcement that the interest rates might be going up, that's kind of the situation we find ourselves in. But hey, going sideways. Nothing wrong with that. Another big article that I found was the Grand Theft Auto maker Take-Two eyes Web3 opportunities with Zynga acquisition. Farmville creator Zynga gets snapped up by gaming giant Take-Two Interactive for $12.7 billion as their CEOs discuss NFTs in gaming. This is big news. These are two very, very large, the biggest game developers. Obviously, Take-Two in the traditional gaming like consoles and PC, and Zynga being mobile. Gigantic companies, huge teams, and they're starting to throw words like Web3 and NFTs out there. I'm not sure how immediate this is going to be, but what kind of is striking me now is that I see like I can't wake up and look at crypto or NFT news without seeing some kind of announcement of a big company being like, yeah, maybe NFTs are a thing.
Yeah, and I think that it's, while it's not a guarantee, I do believe that traditional companies that have, are where their core competency is gaming and have been in gaming for a long time, I do believe that there is a much better chance they come up with the P2E Fortnite-like game that we're all dreaming of versus a crypto native team actually somehow creating such a compelling game that people want to play it besides, for earning money. Because that's what we always say, is that there has to be more reasons to play the game than just earning money. Because if the only reason to play is to earn, it's essentially a Ponzi scheme. And you always need new people coming in with the hope to earn. If people are just playing for fun, that's what really keeps it going. And we know that Take-Two Interactive is good at making fun games. Grand Theft Auto, addictive, classic. Everyone wants to play it. So these, I don't know about Zynga. That's obviously, I think, the mobile. Their core competency is mobile. So I think that's where the marriage is there. And right now the buzzword is Web3, metaverse, or NFT. And I'm not surprised they're moving into that now.
Yeah, again, sorry about that. And mobile gaming typically is a little bit simpler, faster paced style of gaming. And, for the time being might fit more in with the current simplified style of NFTs in gaming. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto is a great example of like a metaverse kind of product, right? Especially when you start playing Grand Theft Auto online or Red Dead Redemption online, like all those games that you kind of exist in. Cosmetics play a heavy part in people's appearances and stuff like that, and NFTs just fit the bill. So yeah, I think this is big news. But what's bigger to me is that this just seems to be happening every single day.
Yeah, I mean, and it reminds me of the GameStop news. They want to have an NFT marketplace. It's going to be a very big year for mainstream adoption. The only thing I'll caution is I think mainstream adoption is going to look very different than what you're used to right now, right? Like it's not going to be rolling pumps on a decentralized trading app is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, how do you see that going? That's an interesting point.
Well, I think that you're just going to bifurcate the market, right? The masses aren't going to be using Opensea or LooksRare. They're not going to be degenning. It's going to be much more of the way they buy anything that entertains them, whether it's a book or a TV show or a toy. They tend to buy one at a time. They go home and play with it. They want to show it off to their friends. And of course, everyone has a little degen in them. And as people get into it, I think that there are people who are going to come over to the dark side, but it's going to be on centralized marketplaces that many of us may not even want to participate in. It's going to be on alternative chains because of gas fees that many of us may not want to participate in. And while I do think this year is going to be up only all around, I think over the next 4 to 5 years, mass adoption is going to look so different than the trading atmosphere that we exist in now that we're all going to have to adapt to it to continue to profit the way we are.
Yeah, love it. I completely agree. And it is coming. It is coming. Next on the docket, we have Links DAO NFT price jumps after Steph Curry purchase. The new DAO raised $10 million in Ethereum to start off 2022. For those of you that aren't aware, the Links DAO was basically raising money to buy a golf course and basically create a membership package for said golf course and likely partnerships with other courses and groups of courses, as well as kind of a secondary membership involved in that. Steph Curry is a huge avid golfer and a bit of a part-time NFT trader. We saw him buy the Bored Ape. Was it in the fall of last year? It was a pretty big deal. He's got a little bit of an NFT portfolio going in there.
He has some gutter cats too, right?
I think at some point he did, or was that his brother?
Could have been.
Yeah, what's his name? He was
a lot of NBA players. A lot of NBA players have gutter cats. That's a big NBA collection.
Yeah, for sure. He has Steph Curry has his mutant ape version of his regular ape. He's got some rumble kongs. I don't know if he's been airdropped some of these stuff, but the Steph Curry drops. it's a
like I saw rumble kongs. It must be an airdrop.
No, they're at a 2.5 ETH floor. Nothing wrong there.
They're very popular.
They are for sure. So the price of the Link DAO went up very sharply on the news of that. It was trading for about 0.4, I think, before he did that, and now we're up to about 0.8. And the global membership, I think, is about 2.3, 2.4, somewhere in there. So probably a pretty big win for anybody holding that. And if you're a golfer, it's kind of a cool concept. It's kind of reminded me of the fly fish that GaryVee was doing with the restaurant. Did you end up getting one of those? Did I see that yesterday?
I banged out a WETH offer for 3 ETH because they were sitting at 3.9. So I thought I would make 3 ETH WETH offers on everybody taking a loss on the first row, and one of them decided to capitulate to me. I am fly fishing.
Okay. So now you are just patiently waiting for 3 years for the restaurant to open? Is that?
This is not a speculative play for me. I love sushi. I live in New York City. I can't wait to see Gary in the omakase room.
Well, in 3 years when that restaurant finally opens, I look forward to you bringing me out there.
Is that really the timeline?
I saw something about 2025. I don't know if it was just the Degens in the dojo just talking shit.
God damn it!
I can tell you firsthand experience. It does not take that long to open a restaurant. But if that is actually the case, I mean, hey, I don't know what it's like in New York. You got to secure the spot. You have to get your staff, your chefs. I have no idea. GaryVee has the influence and the pull to open that restaurant in 4 months if you want.
I'm going to the website right now to complain. What is
you want to speak to the manager, Karen?
Yeah.
Free market Karen. Is that what's going on? That's hilarious. But yeah, no, good for you for picking that up. I'm assuming you're not doing that as an arbitrage opportunity, like you said. No. You want to enjoy the restaurant, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's like, I used to belong to a private restaurant that was a Wagyu beef. There's only 2 actual entities in the United States that are legally allowed to import Kobe beef. It's everybody labels their bullshit Kobe or Wagyu now, but it's bullshit. There's very few legitimate suppliers, especially in the United States. The Japanese hold that shit really close to the vest. And there's a restaurant in New York that you had to be a member of to get in there. And saddest thing in the world, the pandemic did really take their legs out. It was very sad. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is my chance to get back into a private restaurant. I love it.
Not to go too far down the food tangent, but Wagyu is like the North American version of Kobe, right? Like Kobe is is that yeah. So Kobe is a very specific like style of beef where some animal rights activists deem it very unhealthy or wrong. But essentially, they're kept in an area where they're massaged all day. They drink sake and listen to classical music. It makes the animals very relaxed and very, very tasty, I guess, as it turns out.
Well, if you look at the marbling on a piece of Kobe beef, they're basically all fat. Like you know, when you're picking out a good piece of steak from the what the fuck are we even talking about? When you're picking out a good
we're just like,
steak from the restaurant, you want to see fat in there, marbling. Fat is flavor. Let's move on.
Yeah, no, no, hey, it's a good topic. Kobe beef's delicious, man. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, Steph Curry buys Links DAO. That was a pretty good run. Let's jump into NFTs. Talk about WGMI a little bit. 1 day changes. There's some ups. There's some downs. Doesn't really matter. 7 day change still looking pretty juicy though. Thingdoms is having a really good week, back up to almost a 0.5 floor. Alien Frens is sitting at 3 right now, so down on the day and a little bit, but you know, looking over the course of their last week, they've had a great run. Little Lemon Friends, Maury's, I believe, crossed over the 2 ETH threshold.
Yeah, it was at 2.3. You know, everything's down.
High, eh?
Yeah, everything's down 30%, 40%. But again, it's all an illusion. Volume has left. If volume, and again, it may not. I'm not sitting here saying it's guaranteed. But if volume came back, you would quickly see all of these. The floors are very thin. It looks bad because the ones right on the floor are undercutting and low. But all of these collections are holding very well considering the runs they had. You're very heartened by the consolidation you see so far. But obviously, you know, we need a volume to eventually come back because people will continue to undercut until it does. So.
Hey, look, gas has been high, which means, you know, on the seller, like for the purchaser, to absorb that, it definitely removes a lot of the buy pressure that exists. You know, Opensea being down, you know, if Opensea is down, you can't really list on Opensea or buy on Opensea, but typically what happens is like people put the you know, the computer away for a little bit and wait for it to come back up. So a lot of the buy pressure has been either, you know, artificially or naturally kind of removed from the market. The fact that these floors are not below where they were 3 days ago before that incredible run started, but 2, also paper thin. It shows me that I think that there's been such a strong redistribution and new kind of, like, if you want to call them support levels and NFTs reset in these projects, that I think they're still pretty juicy for the time being. Now, if we go another week and a half, and like next Friday, we're talking about volume has just been non-existent for the past 2 weeks, then maybe we're starting to have a different conversation. But
there's no question. I mean, it does have to come back. But I think really it's the best period and I was here in late August, but this is, you know, when we talk about everything up only, it's been pretty remarkable. So everything's holding nice here. We're still watching. I do think new mints are slightly going out of fashion in the sense that we got too much low effort junk last week. People are now looking forward to quality projects, and we actually do have a very quality project launching this evening in Hunger Brains, which is likely to be, I don't know if it's going to be a gas war, but they oversubscribed that whitelist. You have about 2 hours to mint. So I will be minting mine immediately, regardless of what the price of gas is. I will pay up for these. I do think they're going to be a cook. They will send anything not sold in the white sale to a public sale, but with a max mint of 3 and an oversubscribed whitelist, I expect this to sell out on the whitelist and cook something vicious on the secondary.
What time is that going down at again?
7 p.m. Eastern, sir.
Set your timers. Yeah, I'm going to be there too. They did delay it by a day. I'm not really sure what the reasoning behind that was, but you know, I guess they're probably going to launch into this gas too. Although I did see it settle down below 100 at some point today. So
there's a boss fight, middle of the show. Go battle, boss.
Are we talking about?
We're in Star Wars right now. We got to battle a boss. We're battling him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to stay here.
He's dying. Sorry.
All right. No, Hunger Brains is going to be a great drop. So if you're on the pre-sale list, good for you. Do we know if any? Well, I think it's pretty safe to assume that the pre-sale list, especially if it's oversubscribed, is going to mint out.
Yep.
But I would imagine the rest of it's going to public if not.
Yes, exactly. Rest will go to public if it doesn't mint out. I do expect it to sell out in the pre-sale, have a very nice cook. I don't know the exact specifics, but my gut tells me this is going to be an auto staking situation. So as you mint these, there will be a little checkbox, I believe, that will say auto stake. So that's one reason I think it's going to be such a big cook. This is a game. This is run by Grape Dutch and a crew over at MVHQ. These guys know what they're doing. They have the right connections. It's a 30,000 person Discord, a 10,000 collection with an oversubscribed whitelist. It's all the things are in place for this to be a good pump after it mints out.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I'm excited to participate in something too.
It looks good.
The games look like it's going to be fun. I'm feeling pretty liquid right now, so I'm not going to feel too upset about clicking actions and whatnot. But I hope it's it's pretty reasonable and fun to play too. Because
you're looking at probably going to be about 0.25 to 0.3 depending on where gas is. This is a 0.069 mint. You do have the right to mint up to 3. And a note to everybody: you may have chosen your faction in the Discord because this is a zombie versus humans game. And you could have picked one in the Discord, but you do get to choose your team as you mint. So you will be able to switch teams, keep the team you want, or if you have multiple mints, mint humans and zombies, if that's what you would like to do. I chose Team Zombie. And originally, my thinking was very few people were choosing zombies. These will be the rarer characters. But, we're dealing with a bunch of gamers and game theorists here, and I have a feeling a lot of people are thinking the same way. I'm not sure if they're going to have a counter that shows you which faction has been minting more, or if it's just going to be an overall counter. But my gut so far has said to go with zombies, but you will be able to choose your faction as you're minting. So I think that's going to be an interesting... They're already gamifying the minting process, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, actually. I actually did not realize that that's what was taking place with it, but that's pretty cool, too. I think I'm probably going to mint the human side of it.
Yeah? All right.
I don't know. Or maybe I'll switch it up. I don't know. I'm not telling you.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get everyone else to mint zombies now because they're like, try to do the counter.
Yeah, there could be a little game theory involved there, and I'll be curious to see which way it pans out.
I'm gonna start the team human movement on Twitter and then just switch it up at the last second. Love it. Okay, you know what? Actually, I saw a couple people in the chat mentioning Neckville. Do you know anything about Neckville? Because I've seen it pop up a couple times in the dojo. I just pulled it up in on
These
the
are doodle dicks, aren't they?
Doodle dicks. Is that what is this what it is? I mean, I get it. I guess I can see it in the artwork. Did you?
I'm not being derog. I'm not like trying to knock the project. I really thought that's what the neck thing was. I thought it was because there are definitely doodle dicks floating around. I just don't know what project they're from. I've seen them around.
I mean, I don't know that this is the intention, but they definitely have a phallic shape to them. I think it's just like the idea that you're all neck. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, hey, this has turned out to be a bit of a cook too. I completely forgot that this was flying around the dojo for a little bit, but yeah, 0.05 for the mint price. Yeah, it looks very clean. Fuck, man, the doodle style just works so well. It looks good. They are sitting pre-reveal 0.22 right now. See if it's changed at all, but 0.21. And it looks like the reveal is going to be today too, so it might be an opportunity to get in there, snipe some rares, mix it up a little bit. We'll see what happens after the reveal, and I'll make a note to bring it up on tomorrow's show and see where we're at.
Kaijus were all over it. We were so busy yesterday. I really didn't have a lot of time, and even the day before. But I dropped in the Kaiju room and they were all minting these things. They were like, sell your lemons and mint some necks. I'm like, what are you guys even talking about? And yeah, so I have seen it. They definitely were minted a lot in the Kaiju room, and I'm glad it's a cook for those boys. Shout out to the Kings.
Yeah. Well, hey, like these projects can do pretty well, so we'll see where they go. I don't know if I would call them cute, but they fit the style pretty well. So another kind of trend that we might be seeing jump back into the meta, maybe on the back of GaryVee drinking a couple bottles of wine last night and going shopping on Opensea, or maybe, as you said, there's an exhaustion of kind of shitty mints going on, and now people are kind of shifting their focus to undervalued existing projects that are kind of ripe for the picking. But yeah, GaryVee on Twitter last night pulled out this little hidden, I don't even want to call it a hidden gem. He was kind of going on about, oh, what these beautiful projects that you find hidden in the depths of Opensea. It is CryptoSkulls. It has gone from a 0.05 ETH floor to a 1 ETH floor right now, or I guess maybe 0.9. The volume on it has been absolutely insane. And yeah, I guess this is what GaryVee decided to do with his Monday evening. So yeah.
I don't normally like
give
to
me your worst, man.
Bags, but these. Ew. No, what is going on here? I do not know what Gary was thinking, but what it does tell me is that we are entering a historic, or I think that's actually the wrong terminology the more I think about it. What I think we're entering is a quality phase in the market. So much junk was minted last week. And I think whether you think CryptoSkulls are a quality project or not, people are starting to go back and look for things that were good and forgotten. We know my little baby is CreatureToads, which I still think are due to ramp to 1E here over the next few weeks and months as they release their own fork. But there's a lot of good projects with dedicated teams, real communities who haven't gone anywhere. And there are a lot of great projects with great art, and they're just very high quality, like Fungible Bones. Shout out to Shubs, who fucking nailed the bottom this morning with a Genie sweep, and now that thing's rallying like crazy. And here's a blast.
I want to talk about Fungible Bones, but I want to just go back to these CryptoSkulls real quick. And I know that seems stupid, but I have no idea what the fuck is going on here. If you look at the screen, the highest last sale on something was 100 ETH for this like Punisher looking skull. It was like, I guess, Opensea minted by CryptoSkulls 3 years ago, and it hasn't moved since then, and was just sold to somebody for 100 ETH. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
What date was it minted?
3 years ago.
Okay, well, it's 2018, so I guess that's what's going on.
100 ETH. The next highest sale is.
Can you see what date it was? Do me a favor. Go click on that skull and see what the date is.
On the mint?
3 years ago. Yeah.
July 2nd, 2019.
That's post autoglyphs. I'm assuming this is a generative project. Oh, skulls weren't even sold out. Yeah. Look, guys, this is exactly like crypto art. Do you remember crypto art from August? This is a project GaryVee discovered. Okay. It was just sitting there. Not only was it sitting at like a 0 floor on Opensea, but it wasn't even minted out. This project had literally been minting for 3 years, and it hadn't been minted out. All of a sudden, Gary gets a wind of these things, and about 500 of them were made in 2018, and another couple hundred were minted before April 2019, so January, February, and March of that year. That's pre-autoglyph. So this is a generative collection that predates autoglyphs. It is likely the first generative collection on the blockchain. And the problem is it is not fully on-chain. So that is a big distinction for high-end collectors, is that you must be, the art must be conceived, the generative adversarial network must be on Ethereum so that the art is made on chain. This is what very high-end collectors truly value. And that's why crypto art isn't, quite at the floor of Autoglyphs. Now, if you have a pre-April 2019 one, the floor was about 2 last time I checked. And if you have January or earlier, the floor is about 10. So these things do get a lot of money for the quote unquote historic ones. But even this morning, we were at 0.09 just a couple days ago, and we were up to 0.3 before it's pulling back here a little bit now. So I think we're entering both a historic phase and a phase where people look for quality. There's too much low effort junk out there. People want quality projects, and that's what I think people are looking for right now, history and quality.
Yeah. Okay. So let's shift it back to non-fungible bones. You mentioned Shubang bought the 3-month dip. This is funny. This really brought me back because we minted these, I think, sometime in October, and they had a moment. They definitely had a run up, and then much like almost every other project with little consequence, kind of died during the bear market. They were probably down to 0.02 at some point in November. Average price I'm seeing below 0.02. But yeah, the volume on this just went absolutely bananas about what do you think, an hour and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we're selling for it looks like we're kind of topping out at 0.1 right now with some bigger sales for some of the more rare ones. I see a 0.5 ETH sale, but the tricky thing about playing these pumps, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it and it's not profitable, because right now, if you'd picked them up, you're about 4x the price plus whatever gas you paid, is that there's been a lot of people that are bag holding these from the initial run, and this is the exit liquidity that they've been looking for probably 2 months now. So, you reach this point where you kind of catch people get caught off guard with the amount of sales that are being bought. And then all of a sudden, everybody kind of like checking their portfolio or their notifications. All of a sudden, they see non-fungibles going crazy, and the listings start going absolutely bananas. You can see a lot of listings going on now as people kind of start to wake up to what's going on. So just keep an eye on it. Playing those pumps, if you're doing it, you gotta be early on them for sure.
Yep.
What was the other one? We saw that with CryptoToads the other day, right? CreatureToads. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Where we had that incredible run up from like 0.04 to up to like 0.2 ETH, and then people that have been sitting on these for a long time just like, oh, this is perfect. So not fungible bones. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There was another sweep the other day, and it was the same thing. I know they had fallen back to 0.08 or 0.09. Someone swept them up to 0.17, and people continued to dump. But what I will tell you is this person is going to keep coming back. They are not stupid. This is actually a venture capitalist fund. And I think that's not even funny to me. There's a venture capitalist
fund. Oh, you're talking about CreatureToads. Yeah.
CreatureToads. Aping into CreatureToads. And I believe it's because of the Ohm fork that's coming up. And I believe it's because they think the memeability of all of that is very powerful, right? This is a cheeky derivative, okay? It's cheeky. The creature people don't really like it. The CryptoToads people aren't the biggest fans of it, but it's beautiful art. It's fabulous art that the public loved. It got up to a 0.4. It's a rabid community. I am talking... The only other communities that even come close to the engagement are Lemons and Moris. If I tweet something about Lemons or Moris, I'll get 50 to 100 likes, a bunch of comments. If I tweet something about CreatureToads, that community goes nuts. They are very dedicated. This is a real community. And it's not about what you think of them. It's about being objective and looking at it and saying, wow, these people obviously care about this project. There's venture capitalists aping into these things every time the floor dumps back down. And they have a yield farm and ohm fork coming up, of which they're going to airdrop these tokens to a bunch of high profile projects. This feels like a perfect storm to me. So I love, this is more of I'm not the biggest new mint person. I don't participate in a ton of them. I only really participate in the ones I think are going to be quality. I'm not the biggest flipper. I don't mint ape derivs to try to sell for 3x, on the pump. And this is what I like looking for. I love finding these type of projects. So I think Not Fungible Bones, while it's not a roadmap based project, this is some of the best art we saw last year. There was nothing else out there like this. This was very original. I managed to snag a couple this morning before the pump, but I think everyone was trying a Genie at the same time, and I kept getting fails when I tried to pick up like 10. So love this collection.
In terms of Not Fungibles, they do look great. They're a lot of fun. I had my finger on the Genie as well. And I was just like, oh man, like, I minted these and I exited my position. I was like, obviously they're at a great price right now. I was like, I don't want to get into this really. And so I didn't do it, but if you got in and you did some damage in there, good for you. If not, like they look good. And if we are going into a historical phase, or historical projects continue to have importance in the NFT world, which I believe that they will, this is not a bad project to be in. There was a really cool, where did they go? I just had them pulled up. Anyways, they have a really cool variety of them, a lot of different colors, looks to them. Like they're a fun project, and even when they were minting, there was a lot of fun discovery of people once they revealed, going like, oh shit, this one's cool. Like, some of the rare ones are really intricate. There's a lot of cool one-on-one, so it is a cool project. So good.
You know who's next, right?
Oh, does it start with a B and end with an asterisk gone?
It does, sir. when I saw methamphetamine is a sharp. He likes to be coy and quiet, but this guy is a sharp. And when I saw him buy a Begon yesterday, in fact, I even saw NVO buy one yesterday, and it's been way too quiet over in Begon land. And if we're gonna start entering this historic phase, I have feelings.
Man, I want to buy one right now.
Me too. Me too, sir. Me too.
We should like put it up to the viewers on which ones we buy or something like that. Yeah. Maybe not right now, but we'll set that up with later. No, we're gonna say we'll do it tomorrow on the show. Then they'll pump the shit out of these B-games. Tomorrow they'll be like 0.7 or something. But no, I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, like a lot of people in AlphaMint are bastard gone punk V2. I don't want to say maxis, but on some level, like very, very ardent supporters of them.
I say this
looks so good.
I say this with a 100% serious face. There are only 21,000 legitimate punks. People think there are 10,000. There's 21,000. That's the crypto punk collection and the bastard punk collection. And as the masses come in, they're going to only know two things. They're going to know crypto punks and they're going to know Bored Apes. And they are going to buy the derivatives. Now, of course, they're going to go out and buy all the shitty ones, but it's up to experts like us to guide them into the ones that we truly think are good long-term holds for them. And I'm not trying to pump my bags and Begons. I don't have any listed. I'm not trying to dump on anybody. This is a true passion project of mine that I very much believe that the underlying artist is an unrecognized Van Gogh when it comes to generative art. So
I'm a huge fan of. Also, thanks to Chase Simpson there for telling me that bear market bears pump was happening. Looked it up. What? No, it's not. There was like one sold in the last 3 days. Completely faked me. I pump faked. I bit it. Hook, line, and sinker. Good for you. But yeah, these I love anything to do with like cyberpunk. These like retro neon colors. I can't tell you like how emotionally attached I am to these. These are just so fucking cool. I've slowly been kind of loading up on them in the background, and I don't have a huge bag of them, but it was my first NFT purchase. It will be my last NFT sale, at least on my original one that I bought. And I mean, just the variety of these, the colors, the glitchiness. Some are animated, they shift around, like they're just so good. So I mean, it's hilarious that like at some point, who was it? Was it Rajesh that thought we were trolling with these when the first
he hates them.
Yeah. They first joined AlphaMint. We were talking about them, and we're like, "Are you guys serious? Like, you're just pulling my leg, right?" Like, no, these are legit. So, let's talk about a couple other things real quickly. PxMythics, and you said PxQuest was struggling too. PxMythics was a drop that kind of had some issues with their contract, kind of fumbled the ball a little bit, got back into it. And I think at one point they were above 1 ETH floor. Average price 2 days ago was 1.23 with some decent volume in the project, not huge. But they have settled back down to 0.35. This little lack of volume has not been super kind to them. 0.35 might not seem like that big of a deal, but it is a 1,077 piece NFT collection. That is very low supply. So it'll be interesting to watch these. If you've been sitting on the sideline and like you really have some kind of conviction in PxMythics, it might not be the worst entry point, but personally, I'm staying away from them. Happy that they minted out and, had a little bit of a run, but we'll see where they go from there. And then, PxQuest, I don't have the link for, but do you have a little bit of TLDR on that?
Well, this was a very, very hype P2E game. It had only a website and a Twitter. Lots of fanfare, dripping people into the Discord initially. Seemed to be some important names attached to the project, but it never, I don't know why, it never quite made its case to me. Now, as far as the art goes, I think it's subjective. I wasn't a fan of the characters that they came up with, but I totally wouldn't judge anyone who was. It's not bad art. I think it's just a subjective thing. But this is another role-playing P2G game, P2E game, and I don't know exactly what was wrong with their launch. In fact, 0x Bender was all over all these projects yesterday because all the PX projects seem to have launch issues. And I believe they had to pause their contract at one point. I don't really know the details too deep, but both of these were billed as very, very high profile projects. And I don't know. So we will see. I'm going to find out more about them today. These aren't flops per se.
No, by any means.
No, but given the amount of hype surrounding them, it just feels like they launched. There's not a lot of people talking about what they're going to do or play. And now Hunger Brains is coming quick up on their heels tonight. So we'll see. I hope anybody who minted that gets quite the cook. It does have the right look. It has the right meta. I just think it's about execution. And the launches on both of these kind of were not the best execution. So I'm in wait and see mode on both these projects.
Yeah, PxQuest just I managed to get the Opensea up, and I mean it's sitting at a 0.6 floor, so it's definitely not nothing. So good for them. It is pre-reveal though, so we'll see how that goes after, and we will we'll revisit it once we know a little bit more. But just thought that was interesting. So I mean, good luck to both of them. And if you were in on it and you had a little bit of a win, then good for you too. Last thing that I saw drop really quickly, there was some talk in the dojo today was about the NFT DAO. Please proceed with caution regarding this one. Most of us stayed away from it, but if you see that pop up, there was some sketchiness about the contract. At your own risk, but I just thought I'd give that a quick shout out, or not shout out, warning, I suppose. The other thing that kind of lit up the whale watching mint tracker was the Last Supper history in NFTs. This was kind of a weird project. Let me know if you got in on that, if you managed to mint anything. The art style is like sort of cool. It's definitely using a lot of historical figures likeness. You got Rosa Parks, Alexander the Great, Joan of Arc, Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King, Elvis, Marilyn Monroe. I would probably throw an at your own risk tag on this one too. There's a lot of people's likenesses and names that they're using. And I don't know how these estates react to these kind of things, but was something that was prevalent at the very least. So it's sitting at about a 0.2 floor right now. And the mint price was, I think, 0.07. These things are not revealed yet. I'm assuming the generative traits are going to be overlaid on top of these figures. So it'll be at least interesting to look at.
We've seen a few DCMA issues. That Star, what was it called? The Star Wars one that we loved.
Oh, with the stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah, that was a sad one too. Didn't they end up getting taken down?
You know what? I don't actually know, but I mean, they held nothing back about what they were,
Right.
going over. So yeah. Oh, there was something about you couldn't mint them if you were from the United States, I believe.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing about that. If somebody wants to remind me of the name of those, it's escaping me. But they looked really good. That was a cool project.
Yeah, definitely.
So Art Wars is on LooksRare. Art Wars.
Yes, that was it.
They didn't even really like pretend to change the name up either. I'm gonna pull that one up real quick. Is on LooksRare. There you go. I'm not going to try and dig this up. Yeah, we're starting to get into the show. The last conversation we didn't even get to was actually talking about LooksRare. We had, a good 24 hours to kind of digest what's going on. I bought a little bit more yesterday, staked them, and I've only gotten a 4% return in 24 hours. So no, but seriously, the APY has been dropping. More people have been staking, and the price of it last I checked was flirting with $3, got up to almost $4 at one point. And there could be something here.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to caution everyone. It's a terrible UI right now. I have tried to use LooksRare. I've tried to buy some things there. It is very basic. It obviously feels like it's in beta, but there's a lot to like here, right? The two people running this are NFT natives. They understand what both NFT traders and collectors want. I believe they're going to add a whole suite of tools over time. And I think profit sharing is a very powerful thing. Will they win the day? I'm not completely sure. I don't think the app that wins the day is going to look like a marketplace. All of these things look like eBay. I think that's missing the point. I think in the future, we will all exist in a Discord-like app. And within that app, when somebody types the name of a collection, you'll click on the name of that collection, and Genie will pop up within the app. And you'll be able to see the collection right there on a transparent overlay on top of your chat. And you'll be able to buy, look, trade right there from within Discord. I don't think you will go to a separate site and look for there's a lot of friction going back and forth between your alpha group and the site in which you want to purchase on. So that is what I think the future is. Now, we need bridges there, and I still do think we're going to have these marketplaces, but somebody very intelligent the other day asked me, who's going to win the day? Bad UI with profit sharing or legacy? And my answer was, I think they're all going to win, just in different ways, right? I think legacy is going to win on being legacy. I think LooksRare is going to win on being your decentralized we use the word decentralized. What we're really saying is they won't KYC you, right? So when I say decentralized, what I mean is that LooksRare isn't going to KYC you. That's going to have a whole customer base that wants that kind of experience. And then, as we were talking about earlier in the show, they're going to have normies who I don't even know if we know how they're going to buy NFTs yet or what it's going to look like, but it's going to be on centralized exchanges like Coinbase, and it's going to split the market demographics up. And I think all of them are going to win the day to an extent until we get this grand unifying theory, which, I know some very smart and handsome people out there are working on right now. So,
yeah, I agree with you. The UI definitely needs some work. I really like where they're actually going with this. Obviously, a token drop is like a great kind of marketing ploy to get people to talk about it. We saw the success of it with SOS, which has obviously taken a hit since this kind of came out. I thought they took it to another level by actually having you kind of, connect your wallet and then list one of your NFTs, even if it was just a shit NFT, in there. And, it kind of just planted that seed that, oh, there is a working project here. This is something that actually exists. It's not the promise of a competitor to Opensea. And, I agree with you. Like, I don't think the functionality is there, but there's also that kind of the idea or the framework that if you're not embarrassed by the first iteration of your project that you've put out there, if you look back on it like 6 months or a year or 5 years later, if you're not embarrassed by the first iteration of your product, you waited too long to launch, right? So I think there's a little bit of this in that where it's like it's not perfect. And probably in our mind, these things are never going to be perfect. There's always going to be some kind of functionality we like. There's always going to be something that we desire from it, or a frustration or a pain point with any kind of marketplace that we use. But these are people that are embedded in the NFT scene. They're very influential, and they're degens just like all of us. And I think they know what they want out of a trading marketplace, and I think that they will work very hard and leverage their influence and their money to make it happen sooner rather than later. The tokenomics behind it is kind of the most intriguing thing to me. So obviously, LooksRare still does take a 2% cut of any non-private sale. But that 2% is fully distributed back into the staking, the coins that are being staked on LooksRare. Now, the important thing to remember about this is that right now we're sitting at about 120 million supply that was given out to Opensea users as an airdrop. Staking them entitles you to some of the rewards that they give back for staking. But most of the teams, the founders, the investors are all locked up for at least 6 months, which means they're not going to be part of that staking pool, if not forever. But if 50% of these are staked, you're talking about 60 million tokens. If LooksRare had done Opensea's volume last year, which was just over $2 billion, they would have taken $40 million in that 2% fee, and that would be distributed back to those stakers. I think that would probably look pretty juicy. And without doing the quick napkin math on that or whatever, because I'm not sure that I fully wrap my head around it yet. There's the idea that the $50 million that Opensea took in fees could be infused back into the NFT ecosystem rather than being taken out of it. I think that is a hugely important proposition that exists in this platform. We talked about what it looks like when Eminem buys a Bored Ape and infuses $500,000 into the marketplace, and Travis Barker does it, and then Jimmy Fallon does it, and all this stuff, and that pump in of external capital causes a ripple effect. And I think part and parcel is why, we saw such a great weekend. But imagine that $50 million that Opensea extracted from the market still existed there too. Like, what would we be looking at right now? This is kind of where my head's going with why I think that this is a very important first step. Now, you might be completely right. I'm not sure if LooksRare is the one that does it, and I tend to agree with you that the one that is most successful probably doesn't look anything like this. Maybe it's more of like a Facebook marketplace where it's tied to some kind of social profile, and there's some just quick swiping involved or whatever. Like, I don't know, but there's always that potential and possibility too. But as far as like first steps go, I think this is a great one.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually fooled by SOS because I knew LooksRare was coming. I had heard about it. I had thought SOS was LooksRare because when they were like, when there was no information out and we were all speculating and everyone was speculating it's some sort of decentralized marketplace, my head went, oh shit, is that the Pranksy thing? Mm-hmm. Is it the da-da-da-da? So I actually instantly thought that was SOS, but now look, here we are. And I do know there's another one coming out, also built by reputable people. And let's talk about these airdrops for a second, because we say that they're free money. Where does this money come from? It comes out of thin air. Well, there are a lot of investors in LooksRare. We know some of them because it's the blockchain and people have already done the digging and all that good stuff. But There are also investors in traditional companies, startup companies when they start. And one of the major stats that a hedge fund will grill you about when they're trying to decide if they're going to invest in you is customer acquisition cost. You hear it all the time in Silicon Valley, and it's what a company figures out they're willing to pay to acquire a customer. And when you think about how to get customers over from Opensea and how you're going to acquire them, these airdrops are cheap. And these airdrops are mostly funded by the market that you drop them into. If Silicon Valley knew this trick, they would have done it a long time ago. But this is essentially customer acquisition costs for a startup. And to attract over somebody that spent, $20 million on NFTs next year, you better give them a pretty big bag. And anybody who spent $20 million on NFTs last year got a pretty big fucking bag yesterday. So it's a fabulous method. It's what I think is going on here. And if you view these airdrops through that frame, they make a lot more sense. And you're not getting fake money out of thin air. You are being paid to try out a new product and hopefully become a customer. And this is what all companies do.
And hey, I mean, at the end of the day, the price is going up on the Looks token because people are buying it, right?
Right.
Obviously the liquidity pool changes some kind of dynamics because, in traditional markets, you always say on every end, like every time you sell something, there's somebody on the other end that's buying it from you, right?
Yeah.
Liquidity pool is more of just like an in and out kind of thing, but the price has been, the trajectory has been up, which means people are buying it. And, one of the things that kind of always resonated with me and finance and stuff is you never know why somebody is selling something. You don't know what their personal circumstance is on the other end of that. Maybe they need that money. Maybe their car just broke down and they're like, this could really help me out. Maybe they don't like the project. Maybe they're just exiting the market. Maybe, they died and the estate is selling off all of their assets. You have no fucking clue what's going on there, but you do know why somebody's buying. Mm-hmm. And somebody is buying because they believe that it's going to go up, either short-term, long-term, whether it's a speculative trade or not. People buy stuff on these markets because they expect it to go up. And there's been a lot of buying in this. And that to me feels pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. I staked all my tokens, NFA, but that should say what I think about it. I staked them all. I didn't take the free, $10,000 that they dropped me. I'm letting it roll. Let's see.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I will tell you guys exactly what I did. And I am not the sharpest trader out there. I'm not, somebody that's making millions of dollars a year on this, but I do like the platform. I do like what the proposition is here. So, I was airdropped 800 tokens. I bought another just over 800 and I staked them all. And, I feel pretty good about that, especially now because I bought relatively low. But even just being in that staking and that compounding, which automatically compounds it for you, I think I've earned in the last 24 hours somewhere in the ballpark of 44 extra tokens, right?
Yep.
So, 44 extra tokens, that's, again, don't do math live, but I think about 3%. There's nothing wrong with that considering it's been less than a day. And that 40 something tokens is, now looking towards $120, $150, somewhere in there. Yep. That was just from me putting it in the staking contract. Now, if that continues to grow, it's even more. And, that compounding effect is going to help offset the fact that the APY is going down as well. But it's pretty interesting stuff. And
and it's
the small amount that I bought does not leave me feeling too exposed to that, especially because a lot of my cost basis was free. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't cost me that much to see where this goes.
And remember, it's almost not about the individual investment theses. You're in crypto and you are early. It is your job to spread out your bets enough that you're eventually going to hit the moonshot. It will happen. And when someone hands you a bunch of free money that you didn't have yesterday, that's a pretty decent reason to allocate it to something that could go to the fucking moon. And yeah, of course, the fudders are going to tell you most of them go to zero, and it's true. But if you're managing your stack correctly and you're allocating what you can lose, making 10 bets into moonshots like this, you only need one to work out to fucking make you. Forget like covering all the other ones. It will make you. You hit 1,000x, it will make you. And all of these things, while most of them go to zero, have the potential to 1,000x or better, because this is crypto. So when I get free money, especially if it has a really good thesis behind it like this, I'm going to stake it and go all in. And if it goes to zero, it goes to zero.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this can 1,000x, but like it has the potential to do some pretty big damage in there. I mean, the market cap is sitting at less than $300 million. Say what you want about market caps, but we've seen that just be small potatoes in the crypto space, and those can get very, very large very, very quickly. And to your previous point, about spreading your bets around and, taking calculated positions of appropriate sizes around here. And all you need is one of them to not only cover the losses, but literally make you a millionaire. Or in the instance that I'm referring to with the Shib guy who invested $8,000 into it, a literal billionaire. I think it's probably safe to bet that was not the only $8,000 position that he took. I could be wrong about that, but I would bet that if this guy had $8,000 to spend, he was not going all in on Shib and then forgetting about it for a year and then coming back to it and be like, oh, wow, this is a lot of money.
Medium-sized bets are what's going to kill you, right? You have your things, like I had NFTs. I went all fucking in on the concept of NFTs. It was a large conviction play. I took a lot of my net worth from the stock market and I put it in all sorts of things NFT. That's one thing. You got to have conviction and you bet big. The other thing is you make very small bets on these moonshots, right? Like for this guy, I'm assuming $8,000 was not a lot of money. And he was willing to throw, and maybe for us it's $500. Like, are you willing to throw, instead of making a $5,000 bet on something that okay, make 10 $500 bets on possible moonshots, right? And that this is what I think it's about, opportunity cost in crypto, right? Like being too heavy in anything right now means you're going to miss that next opportunity. So having a very big conviction bet and then making a bunch of small little bets is my preferred strategy. I think those medium bets kill you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's important to have some conviction in some of the plays that you do too. I mean, for instance, you took a big position in Lemon Frens, but it wasn't like a very, I don't want to say it wasn't an expensive. When you start to accumulate the amount that you were in like dollar terms, it definitely wasn't cheap. But that wasn't, you weren't going to be ruined if Lemons didn't.
And I've spent more than 6 ETH on one NFT. Like that's what was fun. Like I aped into these lemons as hard as I ever had, but it was only 6 ETH to buy 109. So it wasn't like my largest ETH purchase. It was just, again, high conviction, right? Like if you buy 109 of something worthless, that 6 ETH is gone. So
yeah. And actually, we were having a pretty guys. I also just want to throw it out there that I threw the link into the AM show chat for the Moon Lounge members. If you want to come up on stage with us, we'll start the Q&A anytime somebody jumps up with us. But the link is there. Just come into Restream. You don't have to use your camera. You don't have to anything like that. There's no account you have to sign
up. But if you are going to use your camera, put on something sexy at least. Hologram, I'm looking at you.
At least get dressed up for the occasion, for sure. But yeah, there was an interesting conversation going on earlier today too about it was Rug Radio and Critters got thrown into the mix. Critters is another great topic that we haven't talked about in a couple days. But even free mints are not free in the sense that you have to be able to manage your risk with that. I made a stupid mistake and I actually didn't even realize it until yesterday. That there was this what is that, block flock was a free mint that happened the other day. Did you see that one?
Block flock, is it a Critters knockoff?
No, it's like Lego birds.
I may have heard of that.
Yeah, it was flying around. Let me see if I can pick it up here.
That was a good joke.
What?
Birds. You said it was flying around.
Oh, yes, exactly. Pun intended for sure. Yeah, BlockFlock. So this was a free mint. Gas was somewhat high while it was in, but I don't think I was paying attention because I minted 6 of these and I was like, it's free, it's a flyer. Well, I did it again. And I'll see what happens. And I checked what the gas ended up running me, and it was 0.25 ETH, and that stung a little bit because these things are worthless. So, yeah. So be careful. Free is not free. That's for sure. Cass GM.
Good morning, Sir Cass.
Someone's laughing at you for 109 lemons. Willem.
All right, and to be fair, I'm down to 98 after that last pump. I'm under 100.
Oh, you sold 11 of them?
Naked and underexposed.
I feel like you could buy 2 more here and be good.
I was shopping yesterday. It was
great
funny
time to shop. There was some real clean lemons on that floor.
There was a Pharaoh right above the floor yesterday, and I dropped it someone dropped it in the Degen dojo. I wanted to give someone in the Degen dojo a chance to get. It was such a good deal. I don't want to be like the lemon hoarder of all time, but yeah, I do believe lemons between 0.6 and 0.7 are a good price. That's where I sold most of mine over 1E because I had actually had them. I expected the pump. This is a little piece of advice for everyone, right? These pumps happen so fast, okay? Especially an influencer pump. And we kind of know where the general resistance levels are, right? When a collection gets to 1, it can spurt over a little bit, but that tends to be where sellers go, all right, got to take some money, got to cash in. I knew it was going to get to 1. I decided to list, I had picked out, 10 or 11 lemons that I had considered my weakest. I listed them above 1 before they got there. They all sold. And if you had quickly tried to go list your lemons at 1 point, your commons I'm talking about, at 1.05, 1.1, 1.2, maybe you got 1 or 2 off into that level, but it was quickly back under 1 into that 0.9, 0.95 range. So if you have a target in mind and you have a very large bag, you need to leg out of those things and you need to list them ahead of time because that is a large bag to manage. And these things happen very fast. So
that was one of those pumps where it was almost bedtime for me. And I was like, this is not, it's not going to fall back to where it was originally, but this is not going to sustain through the night. Now, obviously, from time to time, you can be wrong about that, and it surprises you. It does, but I was like, I absolutely cannot. Miss this opportunity, and I only sold 1, and that 1 was more than enough to cover not only my entire mint of all of them, but take a healthy profit with it too. But that was all you need, and now lemons can chill out for a little bit. I still have 7 of them, and I'm fine with that, right? I took that opportunity to just sit there, do the thing, and at least just peel 1 of them off.
I got a little over 12 ETH for my lemons, which is twice what I paid for all of them. So, amazing. If they went to 0, it would technically be a successful trade. I actually think they're going to 3 ETH next, not 0. But that, whatever. It's you got to you have to leg out. Mainly because if you do not sell on the way up or at the exact top, you are never selling. I feel like that should be a t-shirt because this is not like a traditional market. If you see a stock start to go against you, you could sell it anytime you want. There's instant liquidity for stocks, right?
Well, Cass is sitting up here very patiently waiting.
I'm sorry,
Cass. No, it's all good. But I was going to say the last point is this is one of the features I really like about LooksRare. Now, the people that use the WETH offer bots to spread things around will probably lament the fact that it's being given to everybody. But I think that this is an opportunity to actually set some pretty solid little floors, some pretty solid buy walls, and have some liquidity when things are starting to drop. And you can just sell into that blanket buy offer. I think it's a great thing for it. That's me personally, but
yeah, Good morning, Cass. I'm sorry
Yes.
to rant on topic.
No, I don't watch that, man. It's cool. Like, I don't mind listening. And, you know, I normally listen about an hour and a half before I jump on anyway. So it's cool, fam. Like,
Patience is definitely a virtue for sure.
oh, trust me. Two things I was going to ask. One, are you guys going to be minting Rug Radio? Because I think that's today.
Yes, I will be.
Okay. Second thing, random, because what I could gather is you can only mint one NFT, even if you've got several members passes. Is that correct?
I'm under the impression it's one per mint pass, but that there is some benefit to having them in separate wallets, but I think that's to be determined. But please don't take that as gospel, because you could be right about something. I heard that the
project, my phone cut out. What was
Rug
it?
Radio.
Rug Radio. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Thanks.
I heard, my impression is that there's some benefit to having them in separate wallets, but it won't be like because you're limited to minting them.
Because what I was thinking was a bit of a random one. Was, you see, if because there's 3 days to mint. So let's say someone, hypothetically speaking, minted, but then sold their membership pass within the 3 days. Do you think that the other person could purchase the NFT?
Yeah, I think that there's some like hotly debated topics about like how this is all going down, because if you mint it, then that mint pass has kind of been used up, but you could still sell it on secondary, so some people are going to get burned.
The mint pass would be used?
Well, yeah, like you get a mint per mint pass that you have, right? So like that has to be tied to something.
I'm sorry, I'm totally low. What are we even minting? I couldn't figure out these Rug Radio. I had 3 of them. I sold 2 into the pump because I thought we only needed like 1 as a mint pass for life. Was I wrong? Should I have kept multiples?
Well, I think, okay, so you know what? If Scott is around, I think he is way more versed in this conversation than we are. So I don't know if he is able to jump up here.
I hope I didn't pooch myself.
Yeah, no, my impression is that you are able to mint 1 per pass that you have, right? Kind of like with CreatureToads, where you take the 2 toads and you smash them together, and then neither of them can ever breed again.
Make another toad, right?
Right. So I believe if you have 3 mint passes, you can mint 3 of them.
3 more mint passes, you're saying today?
No, so the mint passes allow you to mint what's funding the Rug Radio DAO.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Rug Radio was a free mint, or the mint pass was a free mint.
What the hell?
And now you can mint this thing for, I think it's 0.1.
It's 0.111. Yeah.
111. Yep. So this is now the NFT that's going to be funding the DAO. And so it's, you know, it seems a little overly complex, but it's implied that there's future utility to these passes that have already been minted and are floating around, and that it would be more beneficial to have them spread out over several wallets rather than just in one, because I believe whatever's to come is only, it doesn't matter if you have 3 of them or 5 of them, you get, you know, one thing per wallet or something. Again, if somebody has a little bit more color into that, you know, we've been pretty busy with some other stuff and haven't done a deep dive into it. I have a couple of them myself, so I'm going to be minting whatever comes out of this. But I'm just doing it honestly because Farouk's involved, and love him or hate him, he has his finger on the pulse of the NFT market. We saw what he did for Lemons in that brief time, and some of the other projects. And call him a shell, whatever you want. I mean, whatever he does definitely has some pop.
He's as big an influencer as there is in NFTs, and he is straight influencer. Like he lives and drips that type of life, but he's great at it, and I do think he's a genuine guy. I hate the way there's this sort of infighting within NFTs, because the blockchain is so transparent, and the way people are demonized for ever selling anything. Like, you know. Yeah,
I hate it too. Yeah,
I'm a quote unquote lemon whale, and every time I go on these lemon spaces, they talk about it, right? Like, it almost made me feel weird about selling lemons. But I didn't lie to anybody. I told them when I sold these 11 lemons, and everybody supported me. They were all like, no, man, you should, like, you're supposed to, like, blah, blah, blah. And that's the atmosphere you want, right? And I think one area that you see on Twitter a lot is influencers being like, oh, you said this project was good and then you sold some. It's like, well, you know, it's one thing if you're like dumping massive amounts on the floor from an Anon wallet while you're pumping it. Like that's a very different thing than like Farouk, who was so into Cool Cats and telling people to buy Cool Cats all the way up to 15, but then he sold some at 15. Well, that
Right.
Like, come on. You're gonna. I like Farouk. I think he's a good guy. He's an influencer. That's what he does.
And
but,
he's high energy. People get really put off by people who have high energy for something.
Yeah.
You know, he'll jump into the spaces and, you know, like in the Lemons, it was like fun to listen to him look through the collection because he was like, oh shit, like there's a Pharaoh thing. And he's like, buy. And he's like talking, but he's high energy. That's what these influencers are. And I don't even like everyone hates on even the term influencer.
Right.
This is not a bad thing. Like the creator economy is real. Like people like listening to people's opinions and hearing people talk. This is why we do the show, right?
Right.
Like,
and we've always had thought leaders, right? People have always been popular, whether it's a celebrity or a politician. And now just because social media has given average people that access, we demonize them. It allows people who didn't have the ability to become stars to become stars. So
you know what, honestly, and I hate to always go back to this topic and one day we'll stop talking about it, but it was my biggest knock against BitClout, was that you were like you were demonized for selling anything, especially your own coin. Everyone was like, yeah, he bought tons of his own, like, great, invest in yourself. Like, what the fuck is the point of investing in yourself if you can never extract that value once you've, you know, made it, whatever.
I'm so glad we were there debating creator coin tokenomics instead of aping into Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a great use of our time.
That was a great use of our time. Oh, by the way, I see BitClout OTC is in the chat right now. I'd love to speak to you after the show.
Here's another question for you guys in regards of Rug Radio. Now, because it's a decentralized media platform, and you guys have obviously moved from Discord onto Twitch, onto YouTube, and so on and so forth. Are you guys going to do a show on there?
We haven't even discussed it, to be honest with you. Like, it's been pointed out that this is something that we could look at doing. But I mean, I have no idea what the stipulations are for it and like what that would mean for our show to be doing it. I mean, we're obviously representative of AlphaMint and the community that we're trying to build. And I wouldn't want to go down a path where I have to shout out Rug Radio instead of AlphaMint every time we go live or something.
No, but then the thing is, it's all Rug Radio is the platform, so same as YouTube is the platform.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need to look into it a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, if it's decentralized and it's a DAO, and you know, I guess you're probably not beholden to anybody, and it just, you know, behooves you to be a good actor on the network that they've created. I don't know.
What they do is, from what I can gather, is they reward the creators and the hosts with tokens. And you need 1,800 tokens to retain a DAO token. So if you're active in the space, if you're active on Rug Radio as either a presenter, a creator, an engineer, or anything to do with media, to be fair, they reward you with the token. So you are getting paid for your time and effort through the DAO.
Interesting.
And also, if you use the platform, you can then utilize anyone on anything around the platform and people around the platform to support you as well. So it'll be another stream of eyes and ears within the space that have got eyes on you guys. Because I was technically thinking about doing a show myself. I've held back for years. I haven't done a show for about 10 years. And I was considering jumping back into it. But that's if I can be asked to do it or not. But I honestly think that you guys should look into it because I think you two would do absolutely great on it.
I mean, we'll have a closed door meeting about that. I don't know, free market. You got any thoughts about that?
Sounds appealing.
Yeah, I mean, if it allows you creative agency and whatnot. Hey, look, and I'm not just saying this because we're doing this now and we've been doing this for 2.5 months. One of the reasons why, go back to BitCloud, blah blah blah. These things appeal to me so much is because I am a big believer in the creative economy. Even before I was out, or when I was outside of it, I do think that this is a thing. I do think that it's there's lots of opportunity to spread that distribution of attention out to more everyday people. And, the term influencer gets a bad rap sometimes, but, I think that there's a lot there. And I think as automation kind of takes over traditional industries, like, McDonald's, their goal is to have only 2 people working at a time. I do think that there's a lot of opportunity for people's, wealth creation, or even just working to shift into more of a creative economy. And I think that this is going to be something that opens up opportunity for people to express and do their creative side and get paid for it. And kind of redistribute a lot of that money from potentially like huge movie stars and all of that stuff where it was, existed previously. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be on the lookout for it. And I thank you for bringing that up, because I definitely should spend more time looking into it, whether or not we intend to use it. I do think it's an important tool.
Well, Farouk put a massive monologue on Twitter on his profile.
I think he was just doing that when I was going to bed or something last night, and I didn't quite actually look at it. Again, I'm going to look into it.
It took me a while to read through it, but yeah, just have a check on that. And yeah, I'll make a move, and I'll see you guys soon. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Of course, Cass. Thank you so much.
Love, guys. In a bit.
Thank you, Cass.
Shroom heads.
Hey, GMGM guys, how y'all doing today?
Good, man.
Make
How are
the
you?
S on your screen move back and forth?
No, I don't know why that's happening. I can see it on mine too.
Though. Okay.
But if you
why
go
is
on,
it always only mine that glitches too? This happened last time. What's up with
because, man, it's the vibes you give off. You're just twitchy.
I'm just emanating those dope shaky S vibes.
Dope shaky S vibes. Yeah, exactly. If you actually go on and watch it on YouTube, though, you cannot see it shaking. I don't know. It's just like oh no, you can. There you go.
And NFT Goals, who just asked, anyone in Hate Beast, how dare you? That hurts my feel. Oh my God, everyone wants to be in Hate Beast. Did you get that whitelist? How did you get on that whitelist? Oh my God. All right.
Oh yeah, I forgot we just talked about that.
Go ahead.
We're on
Josh,
something today. Josh, what's up?
Hey, not too much. A couple of things. Let's see. First one was, I just wanted to get your guys' 2 cents on these like Polygon or layer 2 or whatever airdrops that people do. The ones that don't typically show up in your main Opensea collection, they show up in the other folder.
Oh, you're gonna get me started today, boy.
I was just like, wow, this is a great way to get free market going after the show.
Hit me with it, man. What are your thoughts? Is this a good strategy, bad strategy? Can it be done well? Is it usually done wrong? What's the deal?
I'm just gonna step away from the mic for 20 seconds.
Yeah, I really, now it really has to be collection dependent, and I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to be like elitist and price people out of things, but I will give an example. Okay, kaijus, who I love, everything they do I love. I am not knocking kaijus, but for Christmas they gave us a very, very dope kaiju turntable, which is your kaiju, full-bodied kaiju, which we hadn't seen yet, on a turntable spinning around in like it is so cool in Bell's classic art, and it looks so good. But they airdropped it on Polygon. Now, gas was not wrecked back then. Okay, in a project like Kaiju Kings, I would have hoped that they had thrown up a special mint page on the website, and while nobody was forced to, they could go mint their turntable to Ethereum anytime they wanted. Leave it as an open mint, and anybody who owned their kaiju could go mint it. Even with Little Lemon Friends, they've done a few drops, which I love. In fact, if you want to ask me, I actually put one of the Little Lemon Polygon NFTs on my Apple Watch. I put a Polygon NFT on my Apple Watch because I loved it so much. But I ask creators out there, why not just put up a page and make it a free mint based on the person's wallet, right? Like, I understand airdropping through Polygon is free and all that stuff, but as you pointed out, Josh, first and foremost, it goes into your hidden folder automatically. Like, if you are a high-end project or a good project, is that how you want your airdrop delivered? Airdrops are expensive, extremely expensive. I would much prefer you do a free mint. You let people mint it from a website at their leisure based on owning a kaiju. You don't even have to it's not even expensive in the sense that you have to upload wallets to the contract. You really just have to do a verify. Just make sure that the kaiju is in the wallet, hasn't been claimed, and then boom. So my advice to creators is, unless like the large majority of your holders can't afford the gas on a free mint, why not just do a free mint? Why does it have to be airdrop? Everyone's so obsessed with airdropping shit. It's expensive. Nobody wants Polygon NFTs. Just make a free mint. That's my opinion.
And I also think that it's I came back in the middle of you raving about the Little Lemons NFT that dropped on Polygon, and that was not the tone I was expecting to walk back into. But honestly, I think that the one of the worst things about it is that you're taught to especially before they went directly into the hidden folder, any Polygon drop that you got, like, do not touch it, don't interact with it, don't even open it up. Like, you don't, like, you're just inviting tragedy into your wallet. And legitimate things kind of get lumped in with that, and it gets pretty dicey, right? It's one of the big reasons why 888 stopped doing like airdrops and did mint from page, just because there was too much opportunity for people to fake airdrop something that looked like an 888 project, and people to get burned on it. So I mean, obviously ETH drops are very, very expensive and it's hard, but like, I actually just agree with free market. Just throw your website up, get a smart contract program so that if you have X amount of these in your wallet, you can mint X amount of them for free and you just pay the gas. The price on your side is pretty manageable, and not everyone's going to mint it. It's going to supply, reduce the supply a little bit too. And if the project ever becomes a huge success, if it's not already, it's going to be a lower supply, which is even better for the holders that decided to take you up on your offer.
What do you think as a creator, Josh?
It's a mixed one, right? It definitely depends on the collection. So like I've got a very small group of holders, fairly small project in the grand scheme of things. And for me, I've thought about doing Polygon airdrops as a way of just getting different types of art into my holders' wallets, because I'm kind of more of an art focused project. But at the same time, the reality is it goes into this other folder. Most people will never know it's there. I looked in my other folder recently. I had all sorts of cool stuff people had airdropped me I had no idea about. And I just doesn't, it does, at least at this point, it really feels like the brand around Polygon NFT drops is not, it just doesn't, it's not a good brand to me.
It's not
that purple Ethereum logo triggers me. It literally triggers me. Like, I swear to God, if they change the color of that thing, it could go a long way to helping Polygon's image, because just that purple Ethereum logo triggers me every time. But yeah, if I were advising you, if you were like, what would you do with a collection of my size? Like, I'd probably do a few things. I would try a free mint. So, you have a small collection. I feel like it would be relatively easy to communicate with your fan base that you had this website and that they should go get their free mint. But I would even say doing airdrops for a few of them, doing a raffle and doing a legitimate Ethereum airdrop, but only for a few of your clients, I think that is that's a really nice value add. It also keeps the community engaged because it's something they wait and look for. And then you can actually airdrop it on Ethereum and it's not breaking you because you only have to do, you know, 1 or 2 or something like that. And then shout out to Shubs, who pointed out that the ERC 1155 contract is very, very, very low gas. But that's kind of technical, and you would have to consult with a dev on how to do that because I do not know.
Which is also an expense in and of itself, right?
Yeah. That would be for a larger project, certainly, not necessarily for Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, there is something interesting about that for smaller projects. Is it's just like it's not just the cost of finding devs in this space; it's the actual finding of them. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's actually pretty hard to find people to work on.
Oh,
I've been amazed.
You're telling us. we may be working on some projects. We know. But yeah, it's fine. You know, you need a dev that is not only competent, you need one that aligns with your philosophies and can adapt on the fly. Things always go wrong. I don't care how competent both sides are. I don't care. You know, the world is just so many variables you can't expect. Things always go wrong. And a dev's ability to I mean, do you remember that project where the dev quit like mid-mint? What was it? Was it DigiDragons? It was the most dramatic thing of all time. Dev's like, like the mint was going bad. He quits mid-mint. The creator didn't know what to do. So, you know, you almost have to like interview a dev like you're interviewing, I don't know, a therapist or a date. Like you got to know this person and understand that they're going to be able to adapt on the fly to things that could happen. But yeah, finding a good dev, Solidity devs, they are in demand, baby.
If you guys haven't seen Josh's project, they're fucking so good, man.
It is not Block Flock, by the way, which is on the screen right now.
No, is it? What can you guys see?
I can see Block Flock.
Curios.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Mystery.
Curio is up on the screen.
They are? My bad.
Yeah.
I am seeing Block Flock right now, so I apologize. Please all go check out Josh's work. Thank you.
No, it's great. He's got a great project going on. This is the second iteration. The original one I had up there was the Shroom Heads, which is this one. And yeah, they look great. And you're all sold out of everything right now too, right?
Shroom Heads, yeah. I think there's a few more on secondary still floating around. And Curios, of course, there's still plenty of Curios out there. But things have really slowed down. For a lot of these small projects, I talked to a lot of other artists and stuff out there, and things are just grinding to a halt. I think when we have these massive PFP project pumps, it's great and it has a lot of awesome downstream effects. But in the short term, for a lot of one-of-one projects or smaller PFP projects and stuff, it really slows things down.
Well, hey, you fit firmly into Free Market's legacy historical NFT bid of 2021.
Oh
yeah, I know, right? Hopefully that pays off long term.
It's not a hope. I can all but guarantee it, sir. You sit tight.
Yeah. Oh, hey guys, can I ask one other quick question?
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring Zakoki up on stage so he can get set up. But go ahead.
Okay, so quick one. Ether Orcs. I have just been letting them sit there gathering Zug, but I realized you can actually mint allies, and I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts are on going out raiding or whatever to get the bone shards you need to mint allies. Is it worth it, or is it better to just
what level are your orcs right now?
I'm level 37, producing 12 Zug a day.
All right. You are going to need to level him up to, here's the issue. With only one orc, while you how much Zug do you have right now?
Like 650.
So you do have enough to send him on a double raid in the highest loot pool, okay? Or where you would get the most bone shards. The problem is you would need to be level 75 to access that. So that's 40.
Okay.
So that means you would have to level, right? Because you do 3 levels a day. So you would have to level like for 14 days. And then After that, you'd be able to raid that. The problem is you would only have a small probability of bringing back enough shards on that one raid to mint a shaman. You need 60. And there's only, I believe it's a 20% chance to bring back 60 shards. Now, let's say you brought back like 48 or, less shards than whatever. Now you would have no Zug, okay? And you would have to earn Zug for another 40 days to get, or not that many, sorry, but whatever it is, 25 or 30 days to get enough Zug to raid again. By then, shamans will be gone. That doesn't mean you should not do it. It means that we'll be on the next phase, which is ogres, okay? So that's basically your consideration right now. My gut tells me if we're looking at this from a profit standpoint, you're probably best right now just farming Zug. If you can buy another orc, there may be another strategy in there. And then the final thing I'll say is please consult with Lucas or Icon in the orcs chat, as they are much deeper than even I. And I'm giving you kind of my overview, but they, I think, understand raid dynamics better. Plus, there are group raids, which are about to start on Polygon. They will take place on L2. And it would be much better to consult with Icon or Lucas because they are experts in that game, and they probably know raid dynamics much better than I.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And thank you for the tip getting into Ether Orcs during that little dip a while ago. It's been great.
All gameplay aside, I think they're going to 10E this year, so enjoy that ride, sir.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, Josh, always love having you up here, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Cheers.
Zikoki, finishing us off for the day. How are you today?
Doing well. Thank you guys for having me on again. So I wanted to get into the conversation you guys were having earlier in the show about the PxQuest mint and what went down with that.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what happened was the actual mint contract was really, really good. It was efficient. Like you minted it right away, and the transaction was, well, gas was really, really high yesterday. So it was pretty high in gas, but not as bad as it could have been, and instantly got put into your wallet. But what happened was something on buying it on Opensea. There was some issue where like the contract was quoting people like 6 ETH of gas. And so then people were like, why aren't people buying on Opensea? So like a bunch of listings were being put up and being undercut, but people weren't able to buy on Opensea. So there was some crazy issue where the gas was like 6 ETH, but 2 people actually bought, which is crazy. So like people paid 6 ETH of gas.
Jesus.
And then so then the devs or like the founders of the project were like, okay, guys, like this is, I guess they kind of I don't know if I'm gonna say lied, but I don't know if they told the entire truth, because they said this is on Opensea's end, this is an issue on their end, but it wasn't really an issue on their end. There was something that happened within the contract where it was quoting a very high gas fee, but then eventually it got solved. And then there was a huge buying spree where it went up to like 0.95 because all of the people that listed just instantly got bought up, and there's like a supply shock because people stopped listing. So then it went up to 0.95, and right now it's like stabilized around 0.55 to 0.6 range. So that's what went down with the PxQuest mint yesterday.
Interesting. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what had happened. So did they end up paying 6 ETH in gas, or was that just the quoted price that like MetaMask was giving you, and the gas wasn't nearly that high? Because I know sometimes there will be like a free mint or a cheap mint where everyone's like, oh, the gas is way too high on this. But if you actually pull the trigger, like when I say way too high, like say you're minting for 0.05, but it's quoting you like an extra 0.04 in gas, and everyone's like, that's way too high. But when you actually pull the trigger on it, it ends up being like 0.01. Was that the case?
I'm actually not sure if he did actually pay 6 ETH in gas, but the entire chat was going crazy because it was like, how the hell did this guy buy? It was like 6 ETH of gas. So That's honestly a mystery. I have no idea. If you go back to the first 2 transactions on the project from right when it minted, those were the first 2 that bought were the when the problem wasn't resolved yet.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm just seeing in the chat that someone paid 2.6 and the other it said 2.9 in gas. It always makes me curious. Did the team like offer to reimburse them or anything?
I
Like
have no idea.
here's
What
where I always get skeptical and sketchy with this, because like I have no doubt that some people will pull the trigger on a transaction like that with not only the expectation but the assumption that the team will reimburse them, and then they'll walk away with like a free mint or something like that. You know what I mean? It happens all the time. Like, there's been people that have minted into a known scam contract knowing that they're going to get reimbursed by the team later and hopefully snag a whitelist spot out of it too and stuff like that. People do that shit all the time. I'm just wondering
That's
if that's
crazy.
actually what. Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be like everyone will be like, yeah, it's a scam. It's a scam. We all know it's a scam. And then people will be like, fuck it, I'm going to send it money anyways because I know I'm going to get it back and they're probably going to reward me somehow else too. Which I hate. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that mentality, and I don't think that, as unfortunate as scams are, I think that the team should do nothing more than just reimburse the lost ETH.
Yeah, I completely agree that that's a very scummy way of maneuvering your way around this NFT space. And second thing is, yesterday I joined the Star Wolves Discord, and I just want to compliment you guys on how awesome that Discord is set up, like the quest system, the boss fight raids, everything is just awesome in there. It's a really immersive experience, like something that I've never experienced in any other Discord. So major congratulations on that, and I look forward to spending more time in there.
Thank you. It's in beta. You're helping us test it out. It's actually going to get more. We're refining it and we're polishing it. So really, thank you for that. We put a lot of thought into it. We want our Discord to essentially stay in character, right? There's a million communities around NFTs where you can go talk about alpha and hobbies and hop in the anime channel and post a picture of your pet, and we're not against that. We love them. We are part of those communities, but Star Wolves is a very important story to Charlie the creator. It's very epic, and we want it to stay in character. We want it to be fun. We want it to be engaging, and most of all, we want the Discord to be simple. We don't want you to feel confused when you're there. We want you to feel like you're there for a purpose and you don't need to engage for fake reasons. So I appreciate those kind words you said.
Oh, yeah. It being in character is definitely accurate. Right when I go in there, I feel the power of the mother wolf.
I love it. Love it. That's
all right,
amazing.
guys. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I appreciate that a lot. I'm just seeing a couple of messages in chat. One was about the high gas prices. I guess it looks like they are going to refund, I hope, just the gas fee, not the total mint price. But yeah, he's just saying that they clicked too fast. So slow down, right? Like that's if you didn't get reimbursed for that, that would have cost you 10 grand, somewhere in that ballpark. Like crazy. And then other than that was oh yeah, he said that he said they filled out a type form a long time ago, but hasn't gotten an invite. So we have not invited every single person yet. So just sit tight on that. And if you have actually filled out a type form, rest assured that we're slowly doing it. As Free Market said, like
you will be admitted. You're not missing anything. You're not going to be behind on anything. We're really just trying to stress test it so that when you get in there, it's a seamless experience.
Yeah, so just keep your eye out. So all good. Yeah. Free Market 2-hour show, not probably nothing. I guess we had a lot to talk about today, but that was a really good show. Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
Well, I am watching my LooksRare APR about to dip below 700%, and I'm worried I can't feed my family tomorrow. I'm going to be calling my bank to check on their rates on a savings account, and I'm maybe thinking about switching my looks over to Chase or maybe Citibank. What 680%? What? 680% scam.
Well, it's funny because if you tell somebody that's never dealt with crypto that you're getting 650% APY, they would literally say that's a fucking scam. Like, obviously, that's not real.
And I'd say it's a scam too. Where's my 1,000,000%? Where is it?
Holding firmly above $3 though, and it had a nice little run during the through the midst of the show, and yeah, I mean it's got a nice little upward channel.
Yeah,
it looks like
we popped up to 4 last night. I'll tell you, and I mentioned this before. Just a quick tip for everyone: if you're gonna hold on to the thing that 100x's, you can expect it to pull back 50 or 60% 10 times on the way up. Do not watch it. I will tell you right now, if you are all in on a concept, just don't watch it. It's your best bet.
Just sit back and enjoy the ride for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. 50 people through the end of the show. That's love to see it. We've been definitely holding that number pretty strong for the last couple of weeks. So always appreciate everyone showing up for the show and engaging with us, jumping up on stage. It really does mean a lot to us. And we thank you so much for your time. If you missed any of the show, as always, this gets uploaded to Spotify, Apple Music. It'll, of course, still be on YouTube where you're watching it now. And, you know, if you liked what you saw, we always appreciate a subscribe button. Leave us a comment and, you know, say hi and whatnot. It's always appreciated, but never an obligation. So, Free Market, you want to take us away?
Good luck at the tables, Degens.